Hello, in this tutorial you will learn how to create a business card using Adobe Illustrator. Click on the File menu, New, and the dialog box will appear. Then from the dialog box, enter the width and the height of the document you wish to create and hit the OK button. Okay, so the width and height of the document, the width is 252 pixels while the height is 144 pixels. Then OK. Then activate the rectangle tool to create a background for the business card. So click and drag to create a rectangular background. Okay, this is it. Okay, I'm taking advantage of the auto snap here. Okay, the snapping effect in Adobe Illustrator. Okay, so this is the background. Now I'll switch to the selection tool and zoom out a little bit from the document. So you can zoom in and out from the document using the Control minus to zoom out or Control plus to zoom in. These are two handy keyboard shortcuts for zooming. Okay, so let me remove the stroke on the rectangle which we created earlier. So the rectangle is still selected. I'll go over to the stroke color here, which is located on the toolbox, as you can see at the right hand side at the left hand side of the interface, and click on it. Click on none to remove the stroke color from the rectangle. So let me get the logo. We'll use it for the business card. Okay, so I've already copied the logo ahead of time, so let me paste it. So go over to the edit menu, paste to paste the copied logo. Okay, now the first thing I would like to do now is to save this color as new swatches. I'm talking about the color on the logo. So I will get the eyedropper tool. Click on the color. In this case, let me select the darker shade of blue. As you can see, the blue color is the fill color of this particular text. So I have to click on the fill color to get it at the top of the stack in order to add it as a new swatch. So click on new swatch, then the new swatch dialog will surface. You can equally rename the swatch, but I will leave it at this. Then I hit the OK button. The color is now added to the swatches panel, as you can see. Okay, so let me do the same thing to this gold color. So click, the color is now here, so new. Then as you can see, this is a gradient swatch. Let me to confirm the new color. Colors are now added to the swatches. The next thing to do now is to change the color of the business card, which is the rectangular shape we created earlier. So I've now selected it. Then click on the darker shade of blue to use it as the fill of the rectangle. Okay, now this is the back side of the business card. I would like to use some kind of pattern on this back side of the business card. So let me create some pattern from the logo, from this X icon. So the first thing to do here is to select the S icon, duplicate it. You can hold down the alternate key, then drag down or up to duplicate the icon. So in this case, I've duplicated the icon. So I would like to create some kind of pattern from this icon, but first of all, let me shrink it down a little bit. So to shrink down, you place your cursor on one of the control handles and hold down the shift and alternate key to shrink it down proportionally a little bit. So I think I'm okay with it. So now select the icon, which is the S icon, and go over to the object menu, pattern, make, to convert that to make a pattern from that icon. So let me dismiss the dialog box by clicking on the OK button. Okay, so these are the swatches option. This is the new pattern option, I mean to say. The thing I would like to do here is to space the icons a little bit from each other. I will space them horizontally and vertically. As you can see, we have horizontal spacing and the vertical spacing. So in this case, in order for me to have access to this, I have to mark this size style to art. Okay, so click on this to have access to this. So now let me change the horizontal spacing to 3 pixels, 3 px. Then press the tab key to jump to the vertical spacing and use the same values, 3 pixels. Okay, so this is it. And the next thing I like to do is to change the tile type from grids to hex by column. Okay, so I'm a fan of this hex by column. I like using it all the time. I think I'm through with the pattern, so let me just confirm the pattern. Click done to confirm the pattern. So now I would equally like to duplicate this rectangle we created earlier. So duplicate it. I've now duplicated it. Then I will change the fill to, I will use this pattern to fill it up. Okay, so this is the pattern. Then the next thing to do here is to align this rectangle with this. Okay, so I can place it here and change the alignment. I can align it to the center of the artwork, which is this. Horizontal align center to align it horizontally, and vertical align center to align it vertically. I don't like how vibrant this thing is. Let me dim it down a little bit. Let me play with the blending mode. So let me change it to something like luminosity. Let me drop down the opacity a little bit. Let me try 30% opacity. Let me go 20. Sorry. The shape is not selected, so I have to select it first. Then drop it down further to 20%. Then another thing I would like to do is to place this particular icon somewhere at the center of the pattern. Then that should be somewhere here. You can zoom in, grab the zoom tool, and zoom in further to align it. You can use the navigation keys to align it. Works perfect here. Okay, so that's it. Let's zoom out. Okay, so this is okay. Okay, so that's it for this part of the tutorial. Thank you for watching.